Well, there were certainly times during Heroes when we thought, immortality, here we come. There were very specific points at which we thought, this is it, surely nothing can stop us now.
Oh, the rock and roll landscape has lots of landmines for young players. Yeah, it's easy to put your foot on one of those. Yeah, we went through a good period where once we got unearthed and got a few decent gigs.
The band was highly successful in Newcastle.
We did definitely want to make it our life.
The playing fantastically moment was we were playing in Melbourne at the Prince of Wales.
We were on the verge of getting into the small time.
Everything was working.
From the first gig onwards, we seemed to attract a crowd.
The first single, the success of that.
Everybody's seen your band. Everybody says they like your band.
Then out came the album.
We didn't want to have normal lives. We didn't want to have normal jobs.
It was happening.
We supported AC/DC on their Back in Black tour.
The whole crowd was into it.
Play music.
Hopped in a limo after Countdown.
Travel the world. Record songs.
The roadies are standing there with the guitars.
Just said, holy fuck, this is what it's like.
And we ran onto stage and did our 20-minute set.
Probably have people like us. That's what we wanted.
It was for me.
It was everything that it was supposed to be. It was happening.
Well, when it finally finished and it was, it was clear that it was dead and laying on a slab, my main feeling was just utter relief.
It was like, oh, thank fuck, that's over, all this, beating our heads up against the wall, it's all over.
You do bang your head against the brick wall every now and then and people wonder why you do it.
I remember distinctly being at a function and there was a guy sitting across from me at the table who had been the lead singer in a band called Porcelain Bus. He had obviously stopped being a musician like 5 years previously, or 5 or 6 years previously, and he was like the manager of some IT staff. And I remember looking at him going, I want to be you.
A lot of them, I find, that they're not necessarily doing what they want to do. And maybe the currency is that you do hang in there and do what you want to do.
You don't know what's coming next week, whereas I think I started craving to know what's coming next week, next month, next year.
And then you started thinking, shit, what am I going to do now? Didn't have a clue, wasn't skilled for anything, had no money. My share of the PA got stolen by our heroin-addicted roadie.
I guess the real watershed for me was the birth of my son and realising that perhaps my time to play was over.
Well, there's no real times that I'm not doing it. I just find that I can't really turn it off.
It was great. It all came together. I got a real job as a salesperson, and I bullshit him away and did the job on the basis of I've been a frontman for a band for 15 years, so I can talk.
Over the next sort of 6 months, there's a real sense of loss.
I've got a job now, okay? I've got a fairly serious kind of job, but because it seems like something else that I'm doing, you care a little bit less about it. It's sort of like, well, it's not really who I am anyway, because I'm a musician. It's bizarrely empowering, yeah.
That's why I'm still doing it now after all these years. It's stupid, you drag yourself through a week of work and the kids and all that kind of crap, and you get up on stage and you play, and we play, we're nowadays, instead of playing to 20,000 people in the Myer Music Bowl, we're playing to 20 people at fucking Barrow Bolo. But even there, the weirdness is that you still have those moments.
I've copped more shit from people about saying, let it go. Stop. What are you doing it for? What is the point? Just replying, it's not your point, it's my point, so let me sort my point out. I know where my point's going.
I'm still walking away from it. It's still got me in its clutches.
Rock's an attitude. It's not just being in a band. It's an openness to life. It's an openness to what the world has to offer. If all of those experiences can help me to be, a person who's open to others, then it's kind of been worthwhile.
It's like a germ. It's hard to shake. I'm not going in for treatment yet. I'm quite happy with it.
I don't think there's any value in trying to analyse too much what we were thinking at the time.
What's the worst thing about playing rock and roll? not playing rock and roll.
Play it, rock out, don't try and figure out what it was all about, because, quite frankly, we didn't have a fucking clue what it was all about at the time.
Thank you.
I can have only been 3 or 4, maybe 5 years of age. I can still picture that notion of a burning ring of fire. It's not much deeper than that.
I grew up in a house where the only music that was ever played or that was ever heard was the theme music to the ABC News.
I used to have, my imaginary friend was Davy Jones out of the Monkees, and I used to play with him all the time when I was a kid.
Are we talking about my first official band or my first pretend band? I had a pretend band called Zagat. Crazy mixed up kids.